This is Talking Saints, the official St. Patrick's Athletic podcast, and I'm here with Academy Director Ger O'Brien to celebrate some good news this week in that the majority of our Saints Academy players have returned to the training pitch after, for some of them, over 6 months off. So Ger, a really nice night for all of our 18-year-olds and under over the last couple of nights who've been back on the training pitch, and they were all very excited young men to be kicking football around again.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. You know, there's a lot of work that's gone in over the last few months. It's been a really tough period for everybody, not just in the football, and you know, a lot of the boys would have been out of school for the first few months in the year as well, and no real structure, and a lot of the kids would crave structure. They'd go to school 5 days a week and they'd be in 3 or 4 nights a week typically with us, so for all that to be taken away from them was really tough. But we kept them going with Zooms, and we kept them going with runs and a lot of interaction with them, but finally the day has come that we can actually all get them back in onto the training pitch.
If we just reflect briefly on 2020 for all 4 teams, and it ended with the league for the under-19s a couple of days before Christmas. The 17s unfortunately couldn't finish due to a COVID case, and the 13s and 15s at the time, due to government guidelines, weren't allowed to come back. So it was a mixed year overall for all of the lads, because you know this COVID-19 thing has gone back really to start the last season.
Yeah, listen, it was a crazy year for everyone in every industry, and we were no different. It's sometimes you're kind of managing 70 plus kids and parents, and it's very frustrating because they're all kind of grown and they're all developing at different speeds, and sometimes some are maturing a lot quicker than others, and outside influences are taking and hold on them. So it's important that we kind of regrouped and kind of kept everyone, you know, in our sights, and kind of kept them close. And when we got going again at the end of June, start of July last year, we were hoping that was going to be it, and we nearly got there in the end. And unfortunately, you know, the 13s and 15s couldn't finish. The 17s, as you alluded to already, was a COVID case, so they couldn't finish, and the 19s were able to have success. But to be honest with you, it was just really about getting players back onto the pitch, onto the training pitch last year. Having the success was fantastic, and you know, it was a good reward for a lot of hard work and a lot of years that the staff and the players have put in that age group. But really it was about just getting them onto the pitch, and as you can see, that Tuesday night, the 22nd of December, was the last time, you know, the academy were actually officially in, and it's taken to the 26th of April to get them back onto the pitch, which is a long time in young people's lives.
Yeah, how would you describe the last number of months since the 22nd of December? For say the 19s, the 17s were a week before, and the 15s and 13s would have been maybe a month before that. They've been on Zoom calls, they've been doing home sessions themselves in their gardens, and in fairness to every one of them, they've really done their best to keep themselves ticking over in an environment where they couldn't be with their teammates or their coaches physically. Yeah,
listen, we would have spoken in January to the coaches, and we kind of knew that we were in for the long haul on this. The cases and the numbers are very high, and going off what we knew last year, we knew that there was probably no end in sight when January came around, and it was about just trying to break it up. So we done 6-week blocks, we done 6 weeks of Zooms and running sessions with them, and you know, that kind of fell in line with their 2-week mid-term break as well, which they were all doing homeschool, and so they would have had 2 weeks completely off to be able to kind of downtime, and then once that finished, they were back to their homeschool, and they came back in on their 6-week Zooms. And over the last number of kind of maybe, I suppose, middle of March, when the numbers were dropping a little bit, everyone was kind of getting a little bit excited, but you know, we just kind of kept going. The staff have been absolutely incredible, you know, from Sean Fogarty with the Zooms, and you know, we've having nutrition talks, and we've had talks with the parents. We've been, you know, working in the staff, educating the staff, and trying to make things better. We've been working behind the scenes, trying to get the facilities better, and making sure that you know, all the stuff that we do, our structures, our principles, is going to be kind of top notch when the players come back. And we've kind of used the downtime as players, parents, staff, as a club to try and improve, and I think we've managed to do that. So I think it's now just about looking after the boys, making sure their health and safety is at the utmost importance, making sure that we stick to the guidelines and go through the proper procedures, and hopefully with the way the country's going, getting vaccinated, that we can kind of slowly but surely get back to playing and get back to some normality.
Yeah, we've seen over the last 2 nights just how excited the players have been to be back. It's non-contact training in pods of 15. They're getting their temperatures checked, there's hand sanitizer everywhere. We're ensuring that all the guidelines are followed, but you could see by them, the younger ones who are 13, the older ones who are, well, the oldest who can be is 17 with these new rules, but like they're just the smiles on their faces when they're back with their teammates, with their coaches over the last couple of nights has been really nice to see, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think once we got the green light, whatever it was 2 weeks ago now, you know, I would have fielded a lot of calls from parents and a lot of queries about what's happening and where we were training and stuff like that, and you know, is there a safe environment there? But you know, the players just love meeting up, and as I said already, it's been a really difficult 15 months for everyone all over the world, but for young people, it feels like they've missed so much with school and with their football, and I suppose when they're playing at this level, you know, it means a lot to them. They feel they're you know, that they have a chance of doing whatever, or maybe having a career in the game. So you know, football is a major part of their life, and it's a major part of their parents' life, and that routine of bringing them training 3 and 4 nights a week goes for a long time. So it's about trying to integrate that back slowly again, but it's important for them to have fun. They're meeting up with their friends. It's important for them to just get back, get communicating with them, get a touch of the ball, and over the next few weeks when things start to get back to some normality, we can start to ramp things back up, and hopefully we'll be playing games and before we know it.
Yeah, and just on that, in terms of what the next couple of months will hold for the players, they're all really anxious to get back to playing matches, and we've both been on various Zoom calls with the FAI over the last while, as have other people in the club and all the clubs together, getting information on, in fairness to the FAI. They've been, you know, giving us as much information as they have with regards to Sport Ireland and the restrictions and stuff, but have we any sort of a scope on when our players might actually be back playing games?
No, not yet. Listen, I think it seems to be we're all kind of at the mercy of what's happening around the country. It's not just a small bubble of football. Just because numbers are coming down, we can't, I suppose, afford to kind of let all our hard work that the whole country has done slip. So there's no definitive time frame being set. There's obviously more meetings in government this week, and I'm sure that there'll be some sort of an announcement. I'd like to think that we can get back as soon as possible. I think the importance of kids getting back playing sport, whether that's soccer, Gaelic, rugby, tennis, swimming, whatever it's going to be, is very, very important. I know it's being said on many platforms and many times, the importance of that for their mental health and everything like that. And I think it's huge for kids in their own physical development, that they need to be out, they need to be active, they need to be challenged, not even in a structured environment in football, but they actually just need to be competing with people their own age and communicating with them and going through everything. So there's no definitive start date yet, but you know, it's up to us as clubs and as staff and people in charge to try and make sure that we all look after our own little area, that the parents, you know, stick to the guidelines, the players, the coaches, and hopefully that will all kind of add up to us all kind of moving on quicker and we can get back playing.
And just very lastly, one thing we can say over the last 4 or 5 months that's been a real positive is the progression of some of our older academy players. We know that Dara Burns and Ben McCormick had signed their first professional contracts a year ago, having both played in the 19s final at Christmas. Ben won the penalty that Dara scored for the winner. They both made starts in the league this year. Dara has scored twice. Ben was fantastic in his first start last week. Came on in Finn Harps the other night. 4 more of our academy lads in Josh Keeley, Cian Kelly, Cian Corby and Kyle Robinson have also on their first pro deals, been in with the first team every morning. Kyle's on loan at Wexford, has just scored his first senior goal. So from that sense, even though a lot of our younger players haven't been able to be playing because those lads are professionals, they have been. It's been great to see the 6 of them progress so well over the last couple of months, particularly Ben and Dara, who've been getting minutes and making impacts. Yeah,
listen, I suppose the academy structure in Ireland is very much in its infancy, and I know 19s and 17s has been in a long time, but 15s and 13s, 14s this year have only kind of really come in over the last couple of years, and it was always going to take some time to produce players. We've obviously sold players to the UK, players that have come in and probably seen it, but now with Brexit coming in, the onus has always been on us as a club to produce players for us, for the first team. That's been the most important thing. It's not being to look to say, okay, we're signing the player just to sell him. And as far as I can remember back, even when I was playing, which is probably when I signed first 10 years ago now, you know, I remember conversations that Gareth would have had with Liam Buckley when he was managing about trying to promote the youth, trying to get the 17s and 19s in, get them contracts, play them. And Liam would have brought through the likes of Jamie McGrath, Sean Hoare and Conor O'Malley after he played in Rovers for a year.
Sam Verdon,
all these type of players that would have got opportunities, that went on to have careers with other clubs. And you know, myself and Gareth would speak all the time, every day, every week, and you know, he wants that model. He wants to be able for us to bring in players and bring them up to the standard that when they're ready, the likes of Ben and Dara, that they're able and not only just able to just go in and compete, but able to excel in an environment that we're not relying on going outside to look in for players. And listen, it takes many different types to win, but you know, as a club, we know we have, you know, a serious pathway in place. We've got very, very good players coming through right away from the smallest age groups all the way up through, and we've got a clear vision right from Gareth being the owner to Stephen and Alan in the seniors, and myself and the staff in the academy. We know exactly, we're all aligned, we know exactly what we want, we know what the type of player that Pats needs, and we understand what the needs of the player, the young players are, to try and get up to speed as quickly as possible. Dara's been exceptional. You know, I'm delighted for Ben, he got a start, and you know, he just went out there and done what Ben has been doing for the last number of years, even before he signed for us when he was with Belvedere. He came into us and, you know, he finds those positions. Dara's a very confident young lad, and, you know, he's got a couple of starts, he's got a couple of important goals and assists in the last few games, and we need to be patient. We need to keep kind of filtering them in and out, and they'll keep growing and they'll keep developing, they'll keep getting better, and the next one's coming through, we'll look at that and see a positive and saying, okay, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And we've got some exceptional young players coming through, and, you know, it all bodes well that, you know, we're sitting nicely at the top of the table at the moment. We've given young players a chance, and there's more to come, and hopefully that's going to be a sign to things over the next number of years.
Thanks, Ger. We'll chat to you soon.
Cheers, Jamie.